Three, two, one, let's go. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode on the George Habib podcast. Today, the topic is I want to say it's uplifting and happy and positive, but it's really not. And to join me on this topic, we've got a fan favorite. They can't see you, Razmig. Give me a sec. Razmig.
Hello, I'm Razmig.
So, Razmig, before we get into this fun topic, what would you like to tell the audience?
Um, Try not to die, so we won't speak about you.
Resmig, death is inescapable. Admit, since he won't do it, I'll say it myself. Please, guys, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to this channel, join our hopefully growing community, and comment down below and follow our social media. So,
Hmm.
Resmig, what is the topic of today?
Death.
What? I didn't hear you.
Death.
Death.
Dying.
Perfect.
Death. What other
And how
word?
do you feel about that?
On all seriousness, like you said, it's inevitable. So, I don't know. Very neutral, honestly.
Hmm.
What about you?
I mean, dude, look, there's times where I'm pondering life and I'm like, what happens after? There's times where I don't really think about it at all. And there's times where I'm literally shitting myself at a potential end of my existence that, frankly, no one can escape.
Yeah, you only think
That's,
about the third thing you said is when you know someone died unexpectedly, right? Like, oh,
hmm.
life is so short, I have to live it to the max, you know?
Yeah, I feel like everyone has the first time they truly think about death. And it's not like, oh, they know death is a thing. It's not like, oh, a relative died. It's like they truly considered the fact that once they die, it all ends. Did you ever have a moment like that?
I had moments where someone I knew died unexpectedly, and that happened recently.
Allah
29 years
yarhamah wa
old,
yarhamah.
very young, living life to the fullest, and he died very unexpectedly. So it put things into perspective, you know. It made me catch up with people that I haven't spoken to. It made me take life a bit less seriously, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it have you questioning your own mortality, your
not
own
really.
religion?
No, not really. I just hope I'm in good terms with God before I die.
Oh, I'm fucked.
I'm fucked too.
I hope he's a forgiving one. Nah, but like, because what happened with me, Razmig, is
Mhm.
I don't know if the first time counts. The first time I realized I was going to die, I was like 8. I was in
Okay.
the gym of, or I was in the gym of my school. I was changing, and then I don't know what caused it. I really cannot remember what like made me realize. I paused. I like froze, and I'm like, I'm gonna die.
It's like a near-death experience, or was it just your
No, no,
mind?
no, no. I wasn't going to. I've had near death experiences. We'll get into that. No, it was like it's like when you have an epiphany, like you have a realization.
No.
Yeah. So basically, I just like froze, and then I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die one day.
Okay.
And it was like I remember it was like a very scary, depressing thought. Again,
Hmm.
I don't remember what started it. So like that's when it. But then like you're a kid, you have a short attention span, and then life goes on.
Right.
The second time I realized, like, I seriously considered that I'm going to die one day, was I think 4 years ago in university during finals. So a lot of stress. And then it's like I had like this sudden like fear, like the sudden anxiety of like something that I cannot escape chasing me. Like think of like a tiger chasing you and like you're fucked.
Okay. Was this all because of stress of the finals?
I think it brought it on, but like also at the time I was doing my degree in religion,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't realize I didn't know my religion as much as I thought I did, and
Mm.
it gave me a lot of questions.
Mm.
And then you pair that up with the stress of a final exam, middle of the night. I don't know. It's just like, and it's not like I was okay. Look, some people fear death, but still think something's going to happen. They still think they're going to have an afterlife.
That's
They
a
might go
different
to
ball.
heaven or hell, but
Uh,
they still expect something.
yeah,
My fear came from an atheist death, the one where you don't even realize you're gone, you just pop disappear, and that really scared me. It didn't mean I was atheist, but it means I feared that they were right. You never had a moment like that where you thought, because when I talk to people, because we live in a religious background, a lot of people are scared they're going to hell.
hmm.
I was scared I was going to stop existing.
Okay. But like you don't know the fact that you are gonna stop existing eventually, or it hit you suddenly.
Bro, it's like, well, first of all, before that day, I always thought there was an afterlife.
Okay.
Like every time I talk to my friends about death, it's like I was so nonchalant about it. I
Yeah.
was like, hey, yeah, when I die, I'll see my grandma, I'll see my grandpa. Well, my
Right.
grandpas are still alive. They can wait. But I'll see my grandpa, I'll see the people that have passed. God may give me a talking down to for my sins, but
Mm.
I'll still be there. But I don't know, like, but to me, the fear of not existing was worse than the fear of hell.
Okay.
Is that like you? Is that something you've ever considered? Not
N-
about not having hell, just not existing.
no, because I knew it's gonna happen eventually. I'm just very curious what happens after you die.
What do you think happens after we die?
The only way to find out is when you die, right? Be right back. I'm gonna slit my wrist. No, joking. I don't know. Like, you could take it in a religious sense. You could take it as a. I have no idea. I'm really curious. So, like, what
Look,
could?
I'm curious too, but I think I can speak for many when I say, like, if only we could know the answer ahead of time.
That's true.
Because, like, everyone, but,
But
like, I don't think anyone will ever have that answer ahead of time. There's a
but
bunch of people who talk about seeing the afterlife, seeing
right.
ghosts.
No, no.
But,
There's
like,
there's
yeah.
there's people that had a near-death experience and their heart stopped
Mm,
beating for like a couple of seconds, and they said that they experienced life after death.
mm.
They saw like a bright light. I don't know. I'm maybe butchering it. It's been a lot. It's been a while actually.
No, the light is very common. I've researched this stuff.
Wow, that's so like
No, no, like I say research, guys. I've looked it up.
you researched it all night for weeks on end.
Yeah. But something like that, like that's what gives me some hope. Like the people sharing these experiences. Because you guys, you've got authors like Lee Strobel, Ibn Alexander. These are two guys. They're famous now for their near death. Well, no, no, wait. Ibn Alexander was famous for his near death experience because he wrote a bunch of books about it,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Because he said before that near death experience, he was a complete atheist. He didn't
Okay.
believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then after that experience, he said, I'm hoping this is what he said because it's been a while since I looked him up. He said that he felt like a presence while his heart stopped or something after some surgery
Oh
or
wow.
infection. And
That's
he
that's
said like uh, there was this big divine presence that made him feel calm and happy. He said like dying was such a blissful experience, but that he felt something like it wasn't his time. I don't know. He said something like the divine being said it wasn't his time yet,
uh-huh.
so he sent him back. And
Mm,
then ever since that day, he's never been worried about death and he looks forward to it.
wow. That's very
But he's been making millions off his books, so it's like
yeah.
there's always that doubt if he's a bullshit artist.
Right. Right. But if that's true, and that's pretty inspiring. It's touching.
Yeah, it gives hope. But like many people are like, oh, that's bullshit. He had a hallucination. He wasn't really dead. What do you think about that?
I've heard people that do like strong drugs like DMT and stuff,
Mm,
aka Joe Rogan. I don't know anyone else that has done it. They literally go like to another stratosphere, right?
mm.
And maybe that's linked to your buddy there that probably did LSD or something.
I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of people who think when you die, your brain releases this special chemical, DMT again. And that's why you see that stuff.
Mm,
But like I don't know, man. Like cuz a lot of these stories there's people talking about how they saw loved ones who were dead
mm-hmm,
and the loved one said it wasn't your time yet. There's people who said they looked above, like they were above their body, and then they looked down at their body, and the doctors were operating on them. And even the doctors said, like, oh, those guys knew exactly what I said when they were supposed to be unconscious or dead.
mm. That's a
And
outer
there's
body
like even some
experience.
stories where like they saw a relative who was alive who said it's not their time yet. But then they found out later when they woke up that that relative actually died and no one knew about it.
Mm-hmm,
So like, yeah, man, these stories they give me hope and they keep happening enough times. Like every day there's a near death experience and people have very similar experiences like that I feel like cannot just be simply called like a hallucination. Like even many of the doctors who operate on these guys are kind of convinced by it. But you got to ask yourself, Resmig, are you giving yourself false hope? Are you just really going for anything to make yourself happy?
mm. Honestly, I don't think about it too much because it's going to happen. I don't see it as a hope or false hope or anything. Um, but whatever happens, happens, right? Lame answer, I know. But
It's a terrible answer, Resmig. Fill
if
out the
if
time, man.
if you had the choice to um a way you die, how would you go? That
Honestly,
old,
either
young.
really badass, like, oh, he killed a bear while it was killing him, but he killed it first and then he died.
Okay,
Like, either
that's
really badass or, like, honestly, on a bed. I know I'm about to die. I got time to tell everyone how I feel. I got time to let it all out, leave nothing ambiguous, make peace with whoever I'm having a fight with, and then, just say bye bye. Because
bye bye.
sometimes people are lucky enough to have that.
Yeah, you don't want to jump off a building or
Resmig,
uh,
who wants to jump off a building?
it's fun. Like, have you ever skydived
Yes, but no, I haven't. But like Resmig,
without
you're
a
not talking about
parachute?
skydiving. You're talking about skydiving without a parachute.
um, I think probably my sleep. Okay, okay. I have a better question for you. You're on death row, um, and you have the
It's
choice.
possible.
You have a choice to like die, right? Either the electric chair, or getting shot in the head, or lethal injection, or hanging like
Hmm.
Saddam Hussein. What would you pick?
Okay, well, first of all, the electric chair is quite painful, Resmig.
Okay.
So that's a no.
Hmm.
Lethal injection feels very embarrassing because they strap you down and like display you to other people, and then they put all this junk in you. Shot in the head. I don't know, man. I don't think like having my brain splattered all over is a very
Ah, who
sexy
cares?
death.
Who cares? Someone
Huh?
else is gonna clean it up. Who cares?
Well, that's his problem, okay?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I guess hanging, man, hanging, leave the.
Keep.
It's pretty sudden if it's done right. And your corpse is still okay for viewing.
Nah, I'd rather get shot in the head. Make a good, nice art painting behind the wall with my blood splattered on it.
Jesus. Resmi, what the fuck?
I don't want to get hanged, bro. That's very. It's a slow death. You don't die instantly.
No, you
Whereas the
die
bullet
instantly,
pop.
bro.
No, you don't.
Yeah, if they drop you high enough, your neck snaps suddenly. That's what kills you.
Jesus.
Oh, that bothers you, huh? Not Mister. I want to blow my brains out and make an abstract art out of it.
Well, yeah. Leave something behind, right? What
Yeah,
if? What if? What's more painful, drowning to death or getting burnt to death?
burning to death, man. I'm not a freaking Buddhist protesting.
But drowning, you're swallowing water too, right? Like your lungs are getting filled up with water.
Yeah, like, okay, drowning is more like the part where you inhale the water because you have no more choice but to breathe
Mm.
sucks. But people who've drowned, and a lot of them are actually the kind who have had near death experiences that they came back from. They said like there's a euphoria at some point,
George, if
but I
I'm
think that's like
drowning,
all the oxygen leaving the brain.
George, if I'm drowning, I'm only gonna accept CPR from you.
From me?
Yeah. No one
Oh
else.
well, then
I don't
you're
care if
just
I
gonna
die.
die, bro. I ain't gonna do shit.
I'll only accept CPR from you.
Was that Andrew Tate said? Even if you're my bro, I ain't gonna do CPR on you. I ain't. Yeah, but look, we're kind of getting a bit specific, but I don't know. Religion-wise, Rizmik, what do you think? What do you think the afterlife is like?
Heaven with Jesus opening up the gates and clouds. Enter my son. I can play video games all day. I can have massages. I can chill with Jesus. Haven't seen him in a while. Um, Probably see my relatives that are dead. R.I.P. Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you? What do
So
you
that's
think happens?
heaven. What about hell?
Flames, Satan. Remember that South Park episode where he dies and
Saddam
he goes
Hussein and
Saddam
Satan.
Hussein. They're in bed with something
That
like
was a
that.
very funny episode. But like, I don't know. Do you believe there's a hell? Really?
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
The thing about hell is, it's a very. It's not from what I remember of my studies, and granted, I've forgotten a lot. Hell isn't really like hell as we know it isn't really a Christian teaching.
What is
That
hell
was
then?
more of like a Catholic teaching, and that came like way later. And a lot of people feel like the story of hell was a way to just control peasants and say, you better behave now, otherwise, there's an eternity of hell. Because if you look in the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament,
Hmm.
there's never really a passage that says, if you die and you're bad, you go straight to hell forever.
But
In the
what
Old
is hell?
Testament, there's not really an equivalent. And in the New Testament, it's not straight up as you do bad things, you go straight to hell.
Okay. Well, then the question is, what is hell?
We gotta get a bit philosophical about that. I feel like I don't know. I feel like if there's an afterlife, hell would be something you've done to yourself because of all your regrets.
Mm,
Either all your regrets or all your arrogance. You either have too many regrets to allow you to have a peaceful life in the afterlife, like you're sad or you worry about the people you've hurt, the things you've done, the people you've betrayed,
mm.
avoiding taxes, the worst crimes ever. And then I was kidding about the last part. Or you're so arrogant that you can't accept that there's a God who's on a much higher level of being than you. Because basically, Razmik, to be religious is to accept that there's something more than you and that you're not at the top of the game,
But you could
which
be
a
a
lot of people, especially atheists, find like they don't like that.
but you could be agnostic too, right?
You could, but agnosticism, I think agnosticism is the most honest belief system because it's literally, I don't know. You don't pretend to know, and you don't take a position, not because you don't want to take a position, but because you acknowledge humbly that you're just a dude. How are you going to know these things? Like there's many times I feel like I'm agnostic, and there's times I feel like I'm religious, but there's never a time I felt like there's definitely nothing
in
there.
between. Mm.
What about you, bro? Agnosticism, religious, atheist thoughts, time to time. What do you think?
I believe there's a higher power, but
Yeah,
I don't
Elon
know what
Musk.
it is. I don't like that guy.
He's a higher power.
Um, but like, you know what sucks about death is like, when you eventually die, you're it's not just you're gone, but like life goes on, right? Like I don't know how to explain it. What I'm trying to say is eventually they'll forget about you, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Christopher Hitchens, actually, he's a atheist philosopher. He died a few years back.
Throat
I
cancer.
recommend watching him. He's really amazing to watch, whether or not you disagree with him. He said that death is like there's a party going on, you're not invited, and the party keeps going on.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Unless you leave like a legacy behind, right?
yeah. But like realistically, what legacy are we going to leave behind that like put our name in the stars, put our names
Uh,
in the history books?
just a statue of me, on the end of
Just
every
a
street.
statue.
That's all I ask.
I'll commission a little statue of you, Razmig. It'll be in my guest bathroom. It'll contain your ashes inside.
Be your gnome.
Make a little gnome Razmig. Contain his ash. Put. I'll put your ashes inside like a garden gnome, and then I'll go to a garage sale and sell it. And that way, you can live your whole life on someone's lawn.
You know where I want you to spread my ashes actually? When you go to a strip club, you're not gonna make dollars fly. You're gonna make my ashes fly. That's that. You promise you'll do that to me.
I can't
It's
promise
or you
that.
give me CPR and you keep me alive, or you choose not to and you do the latter.
You know, it's screwed Razmig. I'll spread the ashes. I'd rather have you dead than than that. I'm just kidding, Razmig. I'll totally give you CPR
Oh,
in theory. But what were we talking about before, like garden gnome ashes and strip clubs?
uh, religion.
Religion?
Yeah.
Yeah, religion's interesting.
What about
Like,
reincarnation?
what are we talking about? Hindu reincarnation, Buddhist reincarnation.
I don't know. What's the
Okay.
difference?
Well, okay, so basically, and I'm not an expert, Hindus and Buddhists have a lot of overlap regarding reincarnation, where they believe that you'll keep dying and rebirthing, dying and rebirthing, dying and rebirthing.
Jesus.
And your karma determines whether or not you reincarnate into a good life. You have good karma, you reincarnate healthier, wealthier, stuff like that. You have bad karma, you reincarnate poorer or like with a worse life. But the thing is, and I think this is more Buddhism than Hinduism, but there, like I said, there's a lot of overlap. The point of life is not to keep reincarnating. The point of life is to accumulate not good karma, not bad karma,
Hmm.
but a balanced karma where they cancel each other out so that you stop reincarnating and then you enter the universal consciousness of the universe. Because, like, okay, so I guess here's the difference between Buddhism and Hinduism. And keep in mind, Hinduism and Buddhism have many kinds of like sects, sects. In the Hindu one, once you stop that cycle of reincarnation, you. I've read some things that say you join the gods in their realm. I've read some things that like again with Buddhism, you become part of the universe, the universe consciousness. Like your individual. Actually, I think this is more Buddhism. Your individuality is gone, but you're part of a bigger thing. And like And like that's why like with monks and yogis and like those religious teachers from both of of both those sects, you see them. They live a very humble life. They live a very frugal life. They're on the streets chilling and chanting. They're in the monasteries just gardening and living a very neutral life. Because in the end, they just want to stop the cycle of reincarnation. Because if you think about it, Razmig, don't you think reincarnation is a hell in itself?
It is.
Imagine like every time you die, you completely forget your previous life, your family, your friends, your loved ones, your achievements, and then you restart. And you restart not knowing that reincarnation is a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that's its own hell. What do you think?
I feel like if I can choose what to be reincarnated, I would like choose to be I don't know, something useful in life. Like I don't know,
It's not difficult for you.
like a life raft, you know?
A life raft.
Or coffee maybe. See, everyone
Mm.
would drink me every day.
You're going to give everyone the shits, Razmig.
Or the energy. Two shit.
Oh my god, I don't need energy for that.
um
What do you
what do
think about the Christian afterlife?
you is that the one with the 72 virgins?
That's associated with Islam, and many people would say that's not even actual Islam. That's more of a hadith by some very specific scholars.
Well, I want
And
that.
and hadiths, a lot of people say those are kind of like scholarly opinions and debates.
Right.
Because, like, I feel with a lot of religions, there's the original source materials. Like, I think for Hinduism, it's the Vedas.
Hmm.
For Judaism, the Old Testament. Christianity, the New Testament. Islam, it's the Quran. And then when you start having scholars like give their interpretation
Hmm.
many decades, centuries after those books were already written, it kind of confuses everything.
Right.
Hmm.
But even then, like 72 virgins, like what are you supposed to do with all of that, you know? Like make it a reasonable number, like 10, fucking 15, 72?
A bazillion. Yeah, that's an entirely different debate.
If it's one way of convincing to convert, I'm convinced.
Yeah, but okay.
Okay, seriously,
So,
yeah.
do you have any concerns about dying? Are you ready to go?
Um, my only concern is I don't want to die before I made peace with everyone. And
You
with people,
just said you wanted to die in your sleep.
yes, I do. But like I wanna die in my sleep after I've talked to people I haven't talked to in a while. I've um buried the hatchet with people I've currently in a conflict with, butting heads with. And yeah, I just wanna leave on a good note.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want my ashes on a stripper's butt.
Bro, I can imagine stripper comes in close to me, expecting some dollar bills, grabs some ash on her face.
Tell her it's glitter.
That's gonna be a very confused stripper, Razmig. But like, okay, if you had the chance to be immortal, would you want to be immortal?
No, be so
Why?
boring. So boring, man. Like everyone will die and I'll still be here. And like, you know,
But you'll be able to watch Fast and the Furious 79.
that's a good point, honestly.
I
I
mean, at
take
that
what I said
point, they'll
back.
just duct tape Vin Diesel's bones to a car, drive it off a cliff. We do it for family.
Would you want to be immortal,
Yeah.
or
But yeah, like, I don't know. A lot of people, especially atheists, say they wish they could live forever. Like even Larry King, you know who Larry King is?
Yes, of course. That
He
old.
was an atheist all his life, and
Okay.
right before he died, he said he wished he could live forever because obviously he was about to die and he's an atheist.
Oh, right. He recently died.
Yeah,
I
like
thought he
a
was
few
still
months back,
alive.
a year
The guy
ago.
with the talk show host, right? He's like
Yeah, dude, he
conjuring
was the talk show
glasses.
host.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry King, a legend. But basically, like when I was watching the clip where he said that, and I'm like, I get it, but if you think about it, and I don't know if the viewers agree with me on this, living forever is its own hell.
I don't think anyone wants to live forever. I think
No,
people
there's
want to
some
look
people,
young
bro. There's
and
some
not
people
get
who don't
old.
want to live forever.
No, I don't think so.
They want to
Uh,
put their brains in robots. They want to upload their consciousness onto machines. They want to freeze their bodies until something happens. There's a whole group of like rich people who want to live forever.
like,
These are the kinds of people I truly believe would sacrifice babies to live forever.
I feel
But
like,
like, yeah, but imagine living forever. Nothing will matter. Everything will be boring. You'll have
yeah,
done everything. All your loved ones will be gone, and
right,
every new ones you make will be gone.
right.
I don't know, like yeah, living forever is a hell.
It is.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised that if hell did exist, people would be born, everything would be exactly the same. Not born, people would go there, everything would be exactly the same, and it would never end.
Yeah, I agree. I would never want to live forever.
Yeah, I think like people would want to live longer.
What do you think about suicide?
Okay, I'm very conflicted about suicide actually, because
Why?
it's like it's either like the weakest, most pathetic, cowardly way out,
Hmm.
or it's actually very brave because I would have never done it. I don't have the balls to kill myself. I don't have the balls to face that uncertainty. So I'm very conflicted about suicide. I don't know what I like. Sometimes I'll be like, oh man, why did he kill himself? Why'd she kill herself? They have kids. They still had this full life ahead of them.
Yeah,
And then other times I'm like, I can't imagine the pain that someone went through that they thought that was the answer.
yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
I feel like it's a selfish thing to do
Yeah.
because I get it. Like you want to put a stop to everything, but at the same time, you're hurting everyone around you, people that love you, people that depend on you, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's a permanent fix to a temporary problem, right?
I agree. There are some cases where people have just been traumatized beyond repair, like gang
Yeah.
rapes, family murder in front of them.
Mm.
And there's other cases where it's like they're dying anyways. They just want to die in a
But
better
that's
state.
different.
That's
That's not suicide.
euthanization.
Uh,
Uh, but it's like, yeah, like when we're talking about people jumping off a bridge, hanging themselves, overdosing on medication, I do feel in many cases they wouldn't have killed themselves if they just like took 5 minutes to breathe. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times these are very impulsive acts, like jumping off a bridge like that. A lot of times I feel like people don't really plan that. They had a really bad time in a really bad life. They
Yeah.
didn't consider the possibility that they could get better. And
Yeah.
then they just had the sudden urge to jump.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
It's a difficult thing, man. Suicide is like abortion. You can go either way with it. Because it's like, you don't, I don't know about you, but me, I've had times where things felt like they were closing in, things felt like they were so bad. I felt like nothing was going to get better. Where I did think about it, I didn't consider it truly. Like I didn't go to a bridge and think about it, but it's like it entered the head. But then it's like we're talking about people who, what drove them to that? Were
Mhm.
they overly sensitive or was that thing overly bad?
I don't know, man. Life is perspective. There's always someone that has it worse than you, and
Yeah.
they see life completely differently. It's always greener on the other side. or whatever
Yeah,
that saying is.
I don't really subscribe to that notion that other people have it worse because you know, pain is relative. Look, I'm not talking about a guy whose Starbucks was warm when it should have been cold, but like suffering is suffering, no matter how it comes.
Mm.
And it's easy to say things like, "Oh, other people have it worse." I feel like it's just an excuse to stay where you are.
Not stay where you are, but like put things in perspective. It's like, hey, my life doesn't suck that much to the point I have to end it all.
Some people do think like that, and it prevents them from killing themselves. But other people, maybe there's just like too much constant suffering for them to even consider other people's lives. Because it's all
That's
about
true.
empathy.
I guess it's
When you're anxious and suffering, you don't have a lot of empathy. You have a lot of anxiety.
that's true.
Hmm. But yeah, death.
If you know someone is suffering and the doctor told you you had the choice to pull the plug, would you do it? They're living off
And like they
machines.
can't, and then they can't choose for themselves.
No, they're living off machines. They're vegetable.
No, then I would pull the plug.
Yeah.
But again, there's many cases where people never pulled the plug, and that person actually woke up like 5 years later.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing. But back to death. Do you think anyone can ever talk about death without talking about religion or God?
No,
It always comes back to that.
it does. It
Because
does.
if you die, you either see God or there is no God, and
Exactly.
you don't know you're dead.
Exactly. And like there's such a ha, I told you so, right? The religious people to atheist people. I told you there's a God, and it can go the
Yeah,
other way around.
but like, would you rather be an atheist proven wrong or a religious person proven wrong?
I just want to go to heaven, man. I don't want to, you know, I want to put my feet up, I want to chill.
Razmig, I mean, I don't know if heaven's in it for you, bro. I've
Why?
seen your browser history.
Yeah, but I could delete those histories, right? And it's like gone with the wind.
Yes, Razmig, deleting your browser history will prevent an omnipotent divine being from figuring it out.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for seeing it that way.
Bro, he's going to like read out like a template, be like, "So, Razmig, like, look, you're a decent person and all, but what's with all the feet?"
I'll be like, you know what, God? You made me shit in math. It's kind of your fault I ended up this messed up. You made me shit in math. You made me illiterate. You made me, I don't know. You didn't put a lot of work on me.
He made you an Armenian, man. Ew.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, that hurts. I wasn't even thinking about that. Thank you. I'll add that to the list. Right, you made me an Armenian too.
I mean, he could have made you Azerbaijani. You'd have oil at least. But like, I don't think. I mean, if you think that's a good idea, first time you see him, then you start complaining and blaming him. I mean, you could do that route too. You just fess up, man. Fess up. Be like, look, Lord. I know it looks bad. I know the browser history. There's a lot of feet in there, but come on, man. Give me a chance. I
I wonder if you
don't know if Razmig, if there is a God, is it a forgiving God or is it a God of the Old Testament?
doesn't God loves us all equally?
I can't. Yo, talk a bit more into the mic. I can't hear you.
Doesn't doesn't God loves us all equally?
I mean, Jews would disagree with that based on the Old Testament.
I don't know.
It depends. Are we talking about the Lord of the Old Testament, the Lord of the New Testament,
My
the
Lord loves
the
me the
Lord of
way
the
I am.
Quran? I mean, technically, these are all the same person with different interpretations.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like a being such as that, we can't imagine what's going through its
You know,
mind.
You know what I thought about? This is so messed up. I'm like, imagine you go the same way you came to Earth. You crawl back up your mom's tummy and then you disappear.
Bro, you know how many times I wish I could like just go back and start again?
I mean, yeah, that was your house for like 9 months, right? Like, I'm pretty sure all your furniture is still there, and
What the fuck? That's your mother, not your ex-girlfriend.
nah, I
Nah,
don't know.
like no, but seriously, like if we're going to talk about God, I hope he's a forgiving one.
Are there moments
Because
in life
people are totally sinners. There's a lot
sinners?
of fucked up shit out there that come from like a damaged person, not a cruel person.
Hmm. Yeah.
What do you think about the other afterlives, the other religions? Do you think what okay, do you think at least one of them is correct or the right religion? Or do you feel like everything is different versions of the same source?
That's such a that's such a heated. When are you gonna give me CPR again? That's such a heated topic. I barely know my own religion to begin with.
Which is
Christianity, Jesus
hmm,
Christ.
Lord and Savior.
Hmm.
It's interesting. I feel like, okay, there's some religions which is just bullshit. Let's be real. The flying spaghetti one, the satanic one,
Satanic.
the what's that one that made Tom Cruise famous and he can never escape
Scientology.
from?
Scientology.
Scientology. Like, okay, look, there's some. Let's be real. There's some bullshit religions out there, and either their followers are really like blind, or like they know it's bullshit, but hey, they're making money. This is mostly Scientology, let's be real. But then there's other ones, the old ones, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Shintoism, the ones that have been there for so long.
Hmm.
And like if you read their texts, there's some like really, I don't know, like what's the word? Inspiring, or really heavy stuff in those texts. I don't know, like I just feel like every religion contains a bit of the truth,
Okay.
especially where they overlap in like be a good person, live a good life, divine creator, because there's a lot of overlap. But once, like I said, once you move away from those holy books that were written right at the beginning, thousands, hundreds of years ago, and then you get into like the opinions of priests and scholars and rabbis and and like all those like religious authorities, then it's basically a conversation. Then it's basically like opinion pieces. Once you go hundreds of years after the scriptures, like I
Okay.
said, hell is not like hell as on TV. You know, pitchfork, devil, all that stuff. That's not really in the Bible. That's like a Catholic thing.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Um, if it's not really pitchfork and flames and fire and I don't know what, I think I want to visit both actually. And like go to go to whichever. Like if you want to live in a if you want to rent an apartment, you go and you visit it first, right? You don't just sign the lease. So I'm thinking about like doing both at the same time, right?
What? Deep thoughts with Razmig. Try a bit of both.
Yeah, it's like what's more
Razmig,
badass,
I know
right?
trying a bit of
Going to
both is
hell.
like the words you live by in your sex life. I don't think it applies to hell. But no, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Life is temporary, but the punishment of hell is eternity. So it's like an eternal punishment for a temporary life. And like, in some versions of Christianity, in some versions of Judaism, in Islam, I believe like this is also a thing. Hell is temporary. You go there for either punishment or self-reflection, and then eventually, like once you fill out the you do your time, the Lord brings you to heaven or brings you to reincarnation. Even in Hinduism, there's different degrees of hell, and you're there temporarily. But for me, I think if we really want to be philosophical about it, I think hell is just a place where you're consumed by your regret, your self doubt, or your arrogance, and that prevents you from going into a place of peace and love.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Is it because like people that are like kill other people and stuff, right? They don't see the right thing. Yeah, they think they did the right thing by like killing someone, for example, right?
Hmm.
What will it make a difference if they go to hell? Would they realize that they actually did something bad, or you get what I'm saying? Because the ignorance and the arrogance convinces them that, oh no, they did nothing wrong.
Yeah, it
So what
depends,
difference
man.
does it make if they go to hell and they won't have
I
a wake
don't
up call? Like,
No, but bro, it really depends. Like, is this like punishment hell that some Christians believe? Like, you go there forever because it's a punishment? Is
I'm not
this
saying that.
rehabilitation hell, like that? I think like is in Islam where you go there, you're punished temporarily, but eventually God takes you back.
I'm not talking about that kind of hell. I'm talking about the hell that you suggested.
Oh, the one where it's your own making.
Yeah.
But bro, like, not to be deep and edgy about it, we live that hell every day. A hell where we're bothered by the people we've hurt, the things we've done,
Mm.
or like a hell of arrogance where we're literally too far up our own asses to see the damage we're doing to ourselves. Like there's many people I know, like they're dealing with a lot of problems and stuff, and it's like, bro, do some self-reflection. You've caused your own problems.
Yeah.
I think like when you die, that applies on a more metaphysical level. And that's like what's impeding you from joining whatever the divine is, which I don't know.
Hmm. Do you think when people die, they can look over you? If that makes sense.
I mean, I kind of hope not.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they knock first.
Yeah, me too.
Bro, if my grandpa saw the fucked up shit I've jerked off to, Razmig knows what I'm talking about, viewers.
Yes, I do.
No, look, in all realism, it's like we hope our loved ones aren't in hell, definitely, but we hope our loved ones are still out there. I hope my Jiddo is still watching down on me in specific moments. Um, I hope my friend's mother, who I love very much, she was like a mother to me. I hope she's still there watching over her daughters. I hope the people who died too young still like exist, still have experiences. It's all hope. I don't know. I hope it's like the thing. Do you believe in ghosts?
Mm.
There's been times where, and I don't know if you've had these experiences. There's been times where I've had some experiences that have left me like really questioning reality. Whether it's a bad dream, whether it's a near-death experience, whether it's like you're walking alone at night and you hear voices, maybe. But But then, like, we go back to the world of science and logic and pessimism. And it's like, oh no, man, that was just a dream. It meant nothing. There's no evidence of an afterlife. It's just you heard something and your brain assumed something wrong. Like, I don't know, Resmig. What do you think? Ghosts are real?
No, but I've had some wacky dreams. Well, what are dreams? I still don't know. Like, is it
It's
are
very
you
debatable.
conscious?
Some people, I've looked up some scientists on this, like people who specialize in it. Some people think it's the brain rebooting. Some
Rebooting.
what? One
Sorry,
sec.
you got cut off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyways, some scientists think it's the brain rebooting. Some scientists think it's just like your brain resting. Some people believe it's a religious experience. Some people believe it's a spiritual experience. I don't know.
I
There's
don't
been
know either.
dreams where it's like, was that was that like predicting the future, or was it just like something random?
Yeah, I've had really random dreams.
Bro, don't get me started on random dreams. You ever woke up after a dream and you were like, why?
Yes, yes,
It's like, what the
yes.
fuck was that about?
Yeah.
You wake up and you're just like mind fucked. But yeah, I don't know, do you feel, Resmig?
Mm.
And now we're going towards the end of the video on this one, but do you feel that there's a spiritual realm and that people, in their pursuit of like material stuff, in their pursuit of like the world now and selfish stuff, do you think humanity is losing its touch with its spiritual side?
Jesus, can you fire that one back to me again?
Do you think
Wait,
people.
dumb her down. Dumb it down.
Okay, let me speak in one word sentences.
Yes,
Okay, Resmig, do you feel that people have lost their connection to a spiritual realm?
I guess. I feel like people are so far up. People nowadays are so far up their butts, up their own butts, right? That they
Hmm.
don't see the bigger picture, i.e., religion, higher power, and I don't know what.
Yeah.
I feel like some people. This might sound crazy, but some people think they are God, or they see themselves as a God. But that's like a very egomaniac people. But there are some people like that.
No, I've met people like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like either a mental disorder or like they're like super narcissistic.
Yeah, super That's the word, narcissistic
Why
people.
I wanted to ask the question because like if we look at our ancestors and if we look at tribes today, people living in the countryside, whether it's Japan, Africa, South America, Northern Europe, these are people who don't have electricity, don't have video games, they don't focus on a 9 to 5 job, and they're like super spiritual. Like they believe their ancestors are still looking down on them. They believe trees have spirits. They believe that there's this whole spirit realm where if they died, they go straight into it. And like everyone, like most people used to believe this,
Because I
like
feel
our
like,
grandparents even.
today, many people have distractions, right?
Yeah.
Be it social media, internet, blah blah blah. They don't sit and think about um, death, religion, um, being in touch with their spirits. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like if there was a spiritual realm, the world we live in now, the lifestyle we live in now, it's separating us from that.
Yeah, it
You
is.
can't experience like the spirits, if there are spirits, the spirits of like the forests. You can't experience like the peace of nature if you live in like some shitty apartment downtown with concrete all around you.
Mm, urban hell.
Yeah. I don't know. Because like if you look at the people who don't have all that, or if you look at the people, even older people who are like, towards the end of their life, they're not afraid of death. Hella, some are. Maybe this is a generalization, but these people, like whether it's like a tribal fishermen in the Amazon, or like our grandparents sitting on the in the garden, they're not scared of death. They're ready. It's
Honestly,
a
I feel
natural
like
part of life.
the only people that are not scared of death is if their conscience are clear, right? If they knew that they did nothing wrong, they were moral, they were ethical, then why would you be scared? You don't have a reason to be scared.
It's true. I don't think that applies to me. I
Really?
have many reasons personally to be scared. There's times where I'm at peace with it, but then there's just times where I worry the fuck about it. Not hell, just I worry that the atheists are right.
And if they're right?
Poof, you're gone.
Hmm.
And you can't escape it.
Okay. I see. Yeah. Then you have to live that life of YOLO, right? I know it sounds cheesy as hell. But like, you only live once, you have to do everything.
Yeah, but the thing about people saying YOLO, they die a lot faster than all of us.
Because they live their life to the max, right?
Yeah, I mean, like they're jumping off bridges, they're doing a shit ton of drugs. YOLO. Uh, so, Razmig, I guess we're at the conclusion of the video. What are your final thoughts on death? Are you worried? Are you curious? What do you think happens?
I'm very curious. I really want to know what happens. Like, this can't be just it, right? You know,
Yeah,
work, and then sleep, right? Work, sleep, shit, eat. That can't just be life, can it?
yeah.
I don't know.
It
I'm
wouldn't
pretty
make
sure.
sense.
I'm pretty sure there's something waiting for us. That's
Yeah.
more to what life is now.
On good days, I think that too. It wouldn't make sense. We have all these experiences. We exist. We have thoughts, feelings, emotions. We experience happiness, sadness, and then for nothing. So, hey guys, the audio was getting a bit iffy towards the end. Nevertheless, I want to thank Razmig for joining me for that video. I really enjoyed the conversation with him, and I hope this video can be of value to you guys, whether you're wondering about, death, or you're just curious into our thoughts. As usual, guys, please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to this channel, like this video, follow our social media because it really helps our community grow. And if you guys agree or disagree with what we said, if you guys want to add your opinion on it, share your stories even, please comment down below and let's get the conversation going. So, yeah, thanks for everything, guys, and take care.